basically this year we hear about AI, all the functions that AI can do, chatbots, and since my experience is mostly, my whole life has been in sales, one of my favorite phrases is that there is one thing that AI cannot replace, which is a handshake. So we've experimented with AI, and I think it's good for generating ideas and maybe brainstorming. But I think what we're going to see more and more is that there's going to be so much AI content and things that are not personal, that actually the personal touch and content that has been created by hand will be actually in much more value in many aspects. Obviously, it can make job easier, but we'll be focusing on personal touch and working more and more with people, and try to keep it as human as possible. The adding cost, yes, but for example, if you look at, there are many transcripted videos or transcripted materials, and for example, if you look at, there are some podcasts that you can see that the content has been written by AI and the audio is from AI, and you can hear it, and I think that people will understand that more and more, that it doesn't have the soul, you might say. So about the resources, as I said, we've used it for, as we're building the database, we've used it for data access, and yes, it has saved some time and resources for manual things, but then again, even if some materials are put together by AI, I think that it will be a long time before it can be left unsupervised by, maybe not a long time, but a human should go through and check it, because there are some things that are still, I would say, a bit too robotic. Obviously, it might change in half a year or a year with the way that it's growing currently, but yes, definitely. Because obviously, if you've been waiting for a support chat, or for example in your bank or any other figure, you know how irritating it might be to get answers that are not personal. For example, imagine that you have a problem, and instead of someone being able to help you and understand you empathetically and understand that the issue is important, that you get impersonal answers. So I think that it can be used for the starting period to determine what the problem is, but that in problem solving an actual human should be included, because I think that the personal touch will win over at least for some time, it will win over impersonal attitude. If you're looking at costs, and if you're looking at maybe resources saved, then obviously there is some advantage. But when you can show an example, if you can show an example why in certain positions the human resources are more valuable, because what we do with our site, although we use certain resources and tools that allow us to gather the data more quickly, so that's why we're maybe able to launch new features faster. What we're planning on this year, so obviously we're planning to launch a new feature every month, but I would say show by example, because we still have a seasoned professional in our team who's been working in iGaming for, I think, more than 30 years now, and I'm asking him to double check everything, and there are some instances where without his insight and experience, you would miss certain things that would be collected automatically or just taken from the internet. And I think the experience that people have already, because his experience obviously has also been previously in land-based, so he's gathered so much insight and experience that you simply cannot take it from pre-written internet material or some say database. So let's say if you want to reach a company, you have to go through a certain process, and given the experience and contacts, we can ease that process, and we can tell them, you should approach this company rather than that company. It might be interesting to change your offering, maybe tailored to certain specifics rather than going broad. And we can help ease that entryway by using the contacts that we have and the experience that we have in the industry.